showtime. Hi guys. All right, because I know it's been a while, right? But we're here. I want to welcome you guys back to another episode of Hanging with Coop. Okay. Let's go. All right. First question. What's your take on giving your significant other a threesome? I'm gonna be for real. There's no other person fucking my man but me. I'm sorry. I can't do a threesome. It's never gonna happen. Me personally, why you need another person? It's the real question. But you're not getting a threesome, bitch. I'll. Who you want? You want Tina? You want Regina? You want Monet? You want Kim? You want John? You want Ronald? Bitch, you pick one, cause you're not getting all of them, bitch. No threesome. I can't. A threesome is whatever worked for you. Cheers. Whatever works for you. But me personally, I can't give a threesome to my man. I can't. That's like you're not about to fuck somebody better than me in a bedroom, and I'm just supposed to sit there and watch. That's just it's no. Next one. Do you believe in gender specific roles? Being in the LGBT community, when it comes to gender specific roles, I don't know. Like, I mean, me personally, I do. I mean, of course, I'm the bottom bitch. So it's like, I want a man that can lead. I need a man that can lead. And if you can't lead me, what are we doing? We're not doing that. So it's like, move. But I kind of do, like, because in a sense, somebody gotta be the man. We both can't be the goddamn woman. Somebody gotta lead the other one. So I definitely do believe in gender specific roles. Um, and I don't even want to get into the whole 50-50 sharing shit, doing X, Y, and Z, all of that. I mean, if your man want to go out and work and he want to take care of you, cool. Do you want to sit there and, be the housewife? Cool. Honestly, that's really something I would do. Bitch, leave me home. Of course, I still do want my own money. I don't, if a man solely takes, if a man wants to solely take care of me, then sure. But I don't need a man to do it. But it's nice. But if I'm going to be home and you're going to be at work, that's fine. I'm cool with that. I'll make sure home is taken care of. You make sure the bills is taken care of. I make sure you taken care of. And if we got some kids, they're going to be taken care of. And that's really just that. Now, I definitely do know that, there is some people that like don't believe in gender specific roles. And like I said, to each his own. I mean, I really feel like it varies, honestly. Um, Person to person, relationship to relationship, if I'm being honest. So, yeah. Next one. Is excessive flexing culture on social media out of control? Absolutely. Absolutely. because honestly, I don't really care for social media like that. I'm honestly getting to an age where it's just like, I feel like people go online to really just flex what they're doing, flex what they have, whether it's money, jewelry, cars, houses, whatever valuables is valuable to you at that point. To me, honestly, you can't take the shit when you're dead. It is like it is what it is. Um, it's just like why? I mean, social media is very fabricated. It's not a real place at this point. Like it's really just a place where Instagram specifically. Um, I wouldn't really say so much Twitter, but like definitely Instagram, maybe some Facebook, if I'm being honest. But yeah, the flexing culture, that shit's dead because all the designer, all of that, the jewelry, the cars, the clothes, the houses, all that, like that doesn't make you at the end of the day. Like what makes you is you as the person and a personality that you have and you carry. So it's like you can flex all day long, but like at the end of the day, I've still met some losers. I've honest to God still have met some losers and they have more than me. But flexing, it just makes to me, it just makes you look corny. That's just my personal opinion. Like you don't gotta flex it. And to me, a person that has to flex everything that they got, you never had nothing. You never had nothing. A real person that's really just had shit is not gonna flex. But I mean, to each his own. That's, kind of ties into the whole famous thing or like, the rich thing. And I see a lot of comparisons on Twitter. And I'm gonna just use Mark Zuckerberg as an example and the baby. You know, the baby wears a bunch of chains and, X, Y, Z. Whereas you see Mark Zuckerberg, he just sits there in a regular outfit. And I've seen social media basically sit there and be like, there's a difference between, being rich and acting and or like flaunting that you're rich. So one wears a bunch of designer, very flashy. The other one, is very kind of like mellow. He's just there. I feel like mm, if you got it, you got it. Everybody don't know that you got it. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. And that comes with just being humble. But then also being private and not letting everybody know what you have. Because honest to God, it's nobody's business. And we're in a day and age where people like to rob people. And nobody wants to get robbed for things that they work very hard for. So, I mean, yeah. So the whole flexing culture, throw that shit out. Just throw it out. Because what are we really doing for real? We got other shit to worry about on this planet. Um, Working multiple jobs to survive or stripping. I'll take the stripping route. Nah, I'll take the stripping route. I've always said since I was a kid, working a 9 to 5 is ghetto. At least to me. I've never enjoyed the 9 to 5. I could never stay at a 9 to 5. Either I quit or got fired. But I've also said since I was a kid that working a 9 to 5 is not for me. It's not something that I really see myself doing. I know I'm not destined to do it. So that shit's out. But it never came to it. Bitch, yes, I'll take that stripper. Yes, be up on the pole. Call me Chocolate Thunder. Fuck is you talking about? I'll up and down the pole. And like Summer did, get these old YT men for their money and their American Express cards. Y'all got, I don't know. Gotta learn how to do it. Gotta learn how to play the game. But that's just me. But if you ever wondered, yes. The stripper name, Chocolate Thunder. It's definitely Chocolate Thunder. Don't ask me why. I'm chocolate. Let it be. Strikes against men, well, against black women and men. I definitely do feel as though that when it comes to the black community that men and women do have multiple strikes against them. I feel as though men have multiple strikes against them. One, they're a man. Two, they're black. That's already two strikes. With a woman, I feel like one, she's black. Two, they always deem black women as angry, um, which is something I never really understood. Just because, and just to throw this out there, like, I'm very much like a feminist. And just because you see a black woman going off on you or whatever the case is, does not make her angry. Like, that does not make her an angry black woman. Just to throw that out there because, I know this world loves to label black women as angry. And that's just outrageous to me, if I'm being honest. Like, it's weird as hell. Because you do something to somebody and y'all just automatically label them as an angry black woman. Like, come on. And, my good sis says it all the time, with the whole feminists and having to protect black women. Because if we're being honest, when it does come to black women, they are the most attacked in, the United States or just in this world entirely. They're always going to be deemed as the issue or the cause of something or whatever the problem, whatever the case is, and that's just not fair to them. So, you know, those are the strikes against, men and women. But if I had to pick between which gender had it the worst, I would definitely say it's the women, only because, again, women have had to fight for their rights for years. And don't get me wrong, because I'm gonna chew y'all up in a sense too. Y'all fought for your rights, but y'all want to be a city girl. Y'all fought for your rights, but y'all want to be a city girl. I don't know. Certain things you just gotta make it make sense. Like, if I'm looking at it, like, if y'all fought hard to get to where y'all are at, I'm proud. But don't hang this shit up in a closet to be a city girl and to depend on old man to provide for you and do everything for you to be like, no. Y'all fought entirely too hard for that shit. So I'm just being honest. Like, that just, it don't make no sense to me. But um yes, definitely when it comes to strikes and stuff, yes, we need to protect the men and the women, especially when it comes to the black community, but more specifically the women than the men. Sorry, man. Hey, man, as my good sis would say. Um, but yeah, views on views on black men going to therapy. I feel like all men need to go to therapy if I'm being honest, because what y'all scared of therapy for? Now I ain't gonna say there's some men that go to therapy, but there's some black men that need to go to therapy because y'all low key be angry, and I be trying to figure out why the fuck y'all so angry. And I know a couple angry birds that be angry at the world for no reason, and that's just go to therapy. Go to therapy and go heal because bleeding your traumas and or other things onto other people, that's not their responsibility, nor is it their problem. And it really just falls off as a lot of projection, and that's not fair to them. So, yes, I do encourage all men, especially black men, to go to therapy because it is something that will help you. Um, you can sit there, like, you can talk about your issues. It's not a hate crime in the world to talk about your problems. Like, just being honest. You got to be for real. And I blame society as a whole, especially when it comes to men expressing their feelings and or being vulnerable, because this world has taught men that they cannot be vulnerable in any capacity because, again, y'all deem them as weak and or a punk. a bitch. I hope YouTube don't flag me for that. But like I don't know, it's really society's fault. But like it also has to do with a lot of traumas and shit that they've also dealt with, in my opinion, that they also dealt with growing up as a kid. I've seen that a lot in black men or just men in general when it comes to like trying to heal. Um, I knew one person, not going to disclose the name, but I've had a conversation with him, and he's literally sat there and said, why would I go to therapy if he basically has a brother to talk to, and I'm just sitting here like, you can't always. It's not to say that family can't always help you. Like your family is going to be there for you. I understand that, but like sometimes you need an unbiased opinion on your situations, and that's honestly okay. Like I honestly want y'all to know that that's honestly okay to have an unbiased opinion, but like I do feel like black men and men need to go to therapy. Honest to God, I feel like there is things that they need to work on and or heal. And it's not even just for them, but for the sake of other people around them. Because like I said, that kind of go back to like the last question to where it kind of bleeds onto people and you're kind of projecting onto them, and that's not fair to them, if we're being honest. So I definitely do encourage all men, not even just of color, but all men to go to therapy. I promise you, you're not gonna regret it. You're not gonna be, labeled as a punk, a bitch, or whatever the case is, because you decide to go talk about your problems and your traumas, and lay everything out on the line to become a better person. Like it's not gonna make you a weak individual, or it's not gonna make you any less of a man. And that's just something that I really want a lot of men to understand. Like being vulnerable is not it's not the end of the world. Like it's not gonna hurt you. It's not gonna kill you. It's not gonna make you look weak. Like, and if I'm being honest, and this part is geared more towards my straight men. I'm gonna be honest with you. A woman loves a man that is way more vulnerable and in tune with their emotions rather than being with someone who is emotionally unavailable and or can never sit there and talk about their problems because they got mommy issues or daddy issues, or they're just so hurt because X, Y, and Z done did X, Y, and Z to them, and now they just refuse to heal from it. Honestly, too, with dating, like especially when it comes to dating, if y'all are gonna date, like as a man, if you're gonna date and you do break up, please take the time to go heal. Like don't go after the next person trying to get into a relationship and or just try to like date around and mess with them, because I'm gonna promise you it's not gonna end up well. It's not. Like I'm just gonna let you know that now. Um I really do encourage people to like really sit there and heal, because no, again, you're bleeding your traumas onto people who don't deserve that, who absolutely had nothing to do with that from the start. And it's not fair to them. So again, men, man childs, grown man kids, and men, take y'all behinds the therapy. I promise you, there's nothing wrong with it. It's like I said, it's not gonna make you any less of a man. It's not gonna make you look weak. Go to therapy and really heal from like all childhood traumas and or whatever issues you got going on. But go heal, because y'all out here, y'all messing people up mentally and emotionally, and it's not fair to them. But to each his own. Next caller. So I'm not going to read this. I'm actually going to rephrase this question. When did you realize you were into the same gender? I realized I was into the same gender. I want to say elementary school. So, all right, funny, right? So, I'm gonna give y'all a little story. Um, this dates back to elementary school. I used to date this YT girl. If you don't know what a YT stands for, YT stands for white. No shade, no tea. But her her name was a name, and this boy had moved to my town, and he started attending the school, and basically he took the girl that I was with. Whole entire time, this man is gay. The whole entire time, I'm gay. At that point, we just end up leaving the girl to mess with each other. At that point, even after we fought, because I did fight that man, I had to drag him across the cafeteria and the lunch table. But we literally ended up like messing with each other afterwards. But even then, I've had like a couple experiences prior to that. I don't know. I mean, I just always knew that I was into the same gender. Like, I got four sisters and a brother. I grew up playing with Barbie dolls. I wore wigs. I did the whole shebang, the whole spiel. So, like, it really didn't come as a shock to me. I probably really started to explore it maybe like fifth, sixth grade is when I really started to explore it. But yes, that's when I realized I was into the same gender. And don't get me wrong, I do find women attractive. Women are always going to be beautiful to me, but it's never going to be enough for me to want to be with you. And so, to all the women, I know that I look good and I know that I'm cute, but like, y'all gotta chill. Y'all gotta chill. In the words of my good sis Whitney, you better chill. Just saying. But I don't go that way. So to all the fellas out there, hey big head, hey big head. Oh, insider popped into my head. But next question: real life versus social media lifestyles. So to me, when it comes to real life versus social media lifestyles, again, takes me back to social media being fabricated in every single way. Your real life is your real life. There's always going to be ups and downs. There's always going to be the times where you're on the up and up, and there's going to be times where you're on the outs and you're down. Like it's life, and that's what really just comes with the territory of everything. But to get on social media and act like you just this rich person or like you just got it all, when in reality and in real life, you don't even got that, and the people that surround you know who you are for real. You gotta, like, at this point, if you're gonna be anything, be for real. What is the point? What's the point of faking a social media lifestyle as opposed to your real lifestyle? Like, everybody's had their fair shares of life in this day and age. Like, nobody's exempt. So don't ever, if you ever get on social media, don't ever let the next person fool you and make it seem like they just never had no down and out moments, because they did. It just wasn't broadcasted. That's what's different. Everybody's always going to post the good on social media. No one is ever really going to post the bad. So, um, yeah, real life versus social media lifestyles. I just feel like that's something that really needs to be worked on, because your lifestyle is your lifestyle, your real lifestyle. Um, at the end of the day, for real, like, everybody knows levels to this shit. It's up and down. It's not always glitz and glamour. So there's really no point in faking it. But I mean, if you feel the need to fake it for social media, then hey, go ahead. Be my guest. To each his own. But me, I know that there's levels to it. I know that there's ups and downs. And I know there's, times where I'm really high, and I know there's times where I'm really low, and I'm just sitting here like, damn, I'm depressed, I'm down, I'm out, I'm X, Y, and Z. So, to all the people out there who look up to the next person on social media, please stop. Just know that they have real life issues like you have real life issues, just as well as I have real life issues. I'm no better than the next. I have my issues just as well as the next person. It just shows differently in every person because every person handles their situations differently. But I think as a culture, we really need to stop letting social media take over and take over and be the forefront of our lives and the way that our lives are seen, and just making everything fabricated. Like it's no point. Like, just be real. You literally get a round of applause being real than being fake. Just saying. Next question. Dating in this economy. Dating in this dating in this economy. Have y'all seen the price of rent? You literally pay $1 million just to live in a shoebox. So dating in this economy, you might want to choose wisely. You might want to choose wisely. And when I say that, that's mainly geared to all of the men and or women who decide they want to date outside of their tax bracket, knowing damn well that you put yourself in a tax bracket that you ain't even supposed to be in. But to make yourself look good for this person, that's what you're gonna do. Um, so yes, when it comes to dating this economy, I feel like it really just it depends on your partner. Um, like I said, kind of brings us back to like the city girl whole theme and stuff, like where it's like, you want the person to really care and do everything for you and like X, Y, and Z. And, the whole 50-50 rule in dating in this economy, there's never going to be a 50-50. And I really just want y'all to know that. Like, as many times as y'all done had this argument on the internet and off the internet, there's let it go. It's never going to be 50-50. There's times where it's going to be 50-50. There's times where it's going to be 70-30, 60-40, like, hell, 80-20. Like, it really just varies. Like I said, it goes back to the last question. Like, it's really levels to it. Like, your life is your life, and how it goes is how it goes. But like, just be honest with yourself. So when it comes to dating in this community, yes, I do feel as though that there is no 50-50. There's times where y'all are going to be up, times when y'all are going to be down. Mm. I'm sorry, chat. I keep yawning, and I don't mean to. Um, but if you're not ready to date in this economy, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't waste your time and don't waste the other person's time. If you know you don't financially got it, stay to yourself. And that's not to discourage the ones who, still put themselves out on a limb. And there's nothing wrong with that because you do have some people that will accept you for you and ride for you. even when you're down. Now that's a real mother. Shut your mouth. It's a real mother, huh? A person that's gonna ride for you, even when you're down, whether you got it or you don't. Um, but yeah, dating in this economy, it can really just go a lot of ways, honestly. Wrap that whole question up. Tell this economy for real. Because this shit's atrocious. It's atrocious, even outside of dating. From dating to having kids to the work life, your personal life. It's a mess altogether. Um, but still, if you want to date in this economy, have your priorities all the way together, at least to a certain extent. I'm not saying that you got to have it all together, but have at least something together. Because at that point, you just, yeah. I do have a surprise for y'all, chat, but it won't be till next episode. But I did bring something back, which is kind of like a fan favorite, and it was kind of like a favorite of mine. And I'm actually kind of happy to have it back anyway. And it's a new one, but y'all ain't gonna get it this one. I ain't giving it to y'all this episode, but I'm gonna give it to y'all. But yeah, it's back and it's better than ever. So yeah, how um next question. Honestly, I think we really only have like two questions though. It's probably really gonna be a short episode. Um, would you rather your kids be gay or heavy in the streets? I'd rather my kid be gay. I'd rather my kid be a fruit of a loom. I'd rather my kid be fruity patootie. I'm sorry. Give me the kid that's gay rather than the kid in the street. So I'ma just say something to y'all. I have a brother and he's been in the streets since he was like a teenager. I love my brother down. But again, at some point enough is enough at this point. So I would rather my kid be gay than be in the streets only because at the end of the day, my kid will still be loved. They will still be cherished. I will still treat them the same. I'm not going to treat them any differently. You know, their sexual orientation and what they prefer has nothing to do with me. And even and this goes to the parents who feel as though that because your child decides to come out as gay and or bisexual or non-binary or whatever they want to identify themselves as, trans, whatever. This to the parents. I want you to know that you did not fail yourself as a parent. You did everything that you were supposed to do. And as my mom would say to us all the time, I did my part as a mom, especially when it comes to raising us into the adults that we are. Now, what you decide to do with your life afterwards, it's completely on you at that point. That has nothing to do with nobody else. That's a you thing. So, um, yes, I would rather my kid be gay than in the streets because you're always going to be loved. You're always going to have the support. You're always going to be there. Now, in the streets, it's a little different. You in the streets, 9 times out of 10, you're dealing drugs. You're on the corners. You're doing whatever it is to get by. No parent and or grandparent, guardian, whoever, nobody wants to receive that phone call in the wee hours of the night and or the day, or that knock on the door to where they're saying like, hey, I'm sorry, but like, your child has been taken into custody or your child has been shot. Um and or put in a situation that harms them and or other people around them. So yes, I feel like me personally, my kid being gay wouldn't bother me. I mean, I'm already gay as hell, but I'd rather my kid be gay because I don't want you in the streets. I don't want to be worried as a parent. I don't want to sit there and have that thought of always wondering like, is my kid okay? Like, what is my kid doing? Like, I don't want that headache. I don't want to feel those emotions while I'm home and my kids just out doing whatever it is that they want to do. Like, that's just, I can't. So yes, I rather have my kid. I rather my kid be gay. I'd rather you come in here with a full lace front and the whole 9 yards, and really just sit there and be like, yeah, swing that shit. Hey, dad. Da, 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 da. I'd rather that shit. I don't want no son and or daughter that's, oh yeah, da, 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 I'm about to go on the streets and I'm about to go deal this. Da, da, da. I don't want that. Like, no, honest to God, no parent wants to receive that phone call and or knock on the door that something happened to their kid because they're in the streets. So yes, and I know this is a controversial little topic, but I don't care. I rather my kid be gay. Sorry, not sorry. They still gonna be loved. Whether they a man, woman, want to be a transgender, or they just don't want to identify themselves at all and just be a non-binary. Like, I'm perfectly okay with that. But yeah, be gay. Bitch, we be at the nail salon together getting our nails done. Okay? It's gonna be what it's gonna be. For real, for real. Next question. Is there a difference in heterosexual and homosexual relationships? In my opinion, the answer is no. I don't think there's a difference. I don't think anything is different. I feel like a heterosexual relationship and a homosexual relationship is honestly the same. The only thing that's different in them scenarios at that point is the gender. It's really the gender. Um, rather it's same sex or not, you still go through the same thing. Like, a same sex relationship literally goes the same way as a hetero relationship. What a man and a woman deals with in a relationship is the same exact thing that a man and man and woman on woman deals with in a relationship. They argue, they fight, they get along, you know, there's trauma, there's this, there's that. Like, there is no difference. The only difference is the gender. And I've honestly had that conversation a lot throughout the last couple years, especially when it comes to straight men, with them asking like, you know, what what is the difference between, a man and a female, a man and a man, or a woman and a woman? And I always tell them, again, there is no difference. The only difference is the gender. Our relationship is going to go how the relationship going to go, which kind of brings me back to one of the first few questions about the whole gender role. Um, as a man and a woman, the man is the leader. The woman is known to be the submissive one, ideally, quote unquote. Um, Sidebar. Then you do have your women who are the boss women, and you got the men who are stay-at-home dads and or just a man in general. But to go back to the whole general specific, um, I do think that the generals play a part in both hetero and homo relationships. But as far as there just being a difference, there is no difference. There is a lot of similarities when it comes to dealing with the opposite and or same gender. And I'm sorry, y'all may disagree, and that's perfectly fine. Your opinion is your opinion, but I'm just being honest. There really is no difference. The only difference is gender. Because in reality, everybody goes to the same thing in a relationship, whether you're with the same sex or not. So, hey, I'm just saying. Um, Last question. We kind of flew through that quick. I don't even know who came up with this, but this is actually interesting. Can sleeping with your best friend ruin the friendship? Absolutely. Because my question to you is, why do you want to sleep with your best friend? Why do you want to sleep with your friend in general? Now, granted, yes, you do have some people out there, and this is why when it comes to the whole bro and sis thing, or the whole bro and bro, I don't know. It's a lot. I don't do the whole bro and sis, bro and bro thing, sis on sis thing, because honestly, all of it's all suspect to me. All of it suspect. Because I've met some people who really be hunching on their friends and or best friends. And to me that's very weird and creepy. Because for real, why you want to be hunching on your friend? Like, you mean to tell me it's all these millions of people in the world you want to hunch on your friend? You couldn't just be a friend? Lord Jesus. I don't I never thought that was a good idea. So I have a story time for y'all. Um Really short, but I have two friends. One is a female and one is a male. I'm not I'm not gonna give names. But the one friend, he liked my friend and she didn't like him back. That's what I mean by ruining the friendship. To the point where arguments have broken out. They don't see eye to eye and they no longer get along because one liked the other and the other didn't feel the same way. It is not to say that friendships can't ever turn lovers, because I do believe that that is a thing and it can happen. But ideally, going out of your way to mess with your friend as opposed of things just happening in a mutual way is completely just is different. Like, but I just feel as though messing with your friend, I really feel like you need to know what you're getting yourself into, because it's not always going to end well. And sometimes them boundaries aren't always meant to cross, if we're being honest. But yeah, I feel like once you cross that boundary, there really kind of isn't a return from that. At that point, you know, how do you continue to remain friends with someone that you have feelings for? I don't think that it's possible. And I'm just speaking from experience at this point. I've been in them shoes. I've told multiple, not multiple. I'm playing. I just dragged it. I've had some friends where I've shared my feelings with them, and it wasn't always mutual. And even before I even got the answer, I also had to let them know, like, this is also a friendship that can't continue. I don't think you can be friends with somebody that you like and or want to be with, especially if that person is aware. It's not fair to you and your feelings and like liking a person. So yes, I do think that friendships will crossing that boundary will ruin a friendship, and I don't feel like friends should be hunching on each other unless y'all absolutely really want to be together and y'all saw each other as potential, and or feelings just grew in a relationship or a friendship, because that happens too. And like I said, it's not to say that these things don't happen because they happen. They do. But we also want to refrain from the things happening because don't nobody want to go through that. Especially when you're in the friend group. Nobody wants to go through that. Because then that puts everybody in an awkward position. So let this be a letter to all them people out there that want to mess with their friends. Leave your friend alone. Unless it's me. It's like I'm playing. I'm playing. But like, nah. Leave your friends alone. Like, especially if the feelings aren't mutual or there was no real like potential from the beginning and it was just always just strictly a friendship. Like, leave your friends alone. Stop trying to string your friends and or your best friends. Like, that's no. I met a person who told me that her best friend, and she's a female and he's a male. And while yes, they are still friends to this day, and nothing has came out of it, it was kind of just an experience for both. But I feel like if you really want to experience what it's like, just go experience it with somebody else. Don't experience it with your friend, because that can cause a lot of turmoil, and it's not cute turmoil, and nobody wants to deal with that. So yeah, but chat. We are coming to the end. This is gonna be it. Um, Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I know it's been a while. Um, I did have to take a break. I needed a much needed break for my mental health. Um, I'm back. I'm here. If you watched all the way to the end, I greatly appreciate you guys. I love you dearly to all my supporters out there. I love you so much. I do thank you for supporting me. From the beginning to now, I know the inconsistencies. I know all of that, but I am just really, really thankful and really grateful that you guys are still rocking with me, regardless if I'm releasing content or not. So I do thank you guys. And until then, okay, this is Coop signing off. And yeah, I'm going to see you guys in the next episode. And until then, Feliz Navidad, hoes. Feliz Navidad.